What's up everyone, Brad here with the Money Dad channel. In this video I want to talk about SOS. That's the Bitcoin mining China headquartered company, the stock that we've been watching on this channel for a little while now. It's not done well since we've been covering it, but there is an update, a pretty significant one that I saw today. I had a very good day on a day where most of the stock market was down. I mean, even other cryptocurrency companies were largely in the red, almost all of them in the red except for SOS. So there is a reason for that. There's a catalyst for what I see on the chart as well. We're gonna get mostly into the chart pattern that I see, the support level. But there is a news headline catalyst for that move. So let's jump into this chart. So I have the candlesticks pulled up on the SOS chart in TradingView. Each candlestick here represents 1 day, and you can see this candlestick right here is the last one on the chart, so that is today. Very big up day for SOS. We were up nearly 9%. We were up even more than that at one point during the day. I think we were up maybe 12% or so at the highs of the day. But look, I mean, the trend has been down. It has not been a good look for SOS. As we zoom out a little bit here, has not been a good look since the highs that they put in, their all-time highs on 17 February. So we're going on 2 months now of just downward activity, right? It just has not looked good. So why do I think we have support here? Because when you look at this chart, and I have my charting tools turned off, kind of give you a little surprise here in a second. There's not a whole lot that we see here to act as support, right? There was this support line up here that we broke down under, so that's not a good look. So what's going on? Well, first let me get into the news event, the reason for this catalyst, the reason why we're up 9%. So you go over to this little news tab here in TradingView, and after we get past all of the notifications from lawyers trying to put a lawsuit on them, and you see this kind of shareholder alert for tons of small cap stocks. These are just companies that are trying to short these stocks and make a lot of money by shorting them, and they put out a bunch of misleading or false information in these lawsuits to try to push the share price down so that they can make money on their short positions. So most of that is fraudulent. I'm not worried about that at all, and there are press releases from SOS company showing their cryptocurrency miners, their activities in China that largely debunk these claims in these lawsuits. So not worried about that at all. You'll see that at the top of the headlines for a lot of small cap companies like all the time. So I usually don't worry about them. The next article on the list right here. SOS to purchase 575 cryptocurrency Ethereum mining rigs. So this information came out today. So I don't think it's a coincidence that that is the reason why we are up today, right? So they're going to acquire 575 more mining rigs. They're going to be mining Ethereum, which diversifies their mining operations from Bitcoin. Right? I think they were already mining some Ethereum anyway, but it's good to be diversified across multiple cryptocurrencies. Ethereum has also done very well over the last few months, so that's all great news. So they are adding. Oh, and by the way, they're going to be delivered on or about 30 April. That is quick. That's 10 days from now. So fantastic news. They're going to get them quick. I know the last batch that they got, they had them installed and running very quickly after that. So they should, I would imagine that these 575 Ethereum mining rigs are going to be installed shortly after 30 April and up and running, because they know, as well as everybody, time is money, right? These things aren't going to make you money until they are online and running. So as soon as they get them on 30 April, you know they're going to be trying to get them running ASAP. So that is the news event, the catalyst for this move, I assume. So what is the chart pattern, or what do I see on the chart for the reason for this move, the technical reason for this move. Well, let me turn my tools back on, and I have Fibonacci retracement levels drawn from the all-time low back in March of 2020 to the all-time high in February of 2021. Those are our points for our Fibonacci retracement tool, right? You start at the low, you trace it to the high, and then you get retracement levels. Basically, this is telling us these are the most common levels that a stock will pull back to and use as support before it starts to take off to the upside again, right? So SOS sliced through basically every single one of these levels until the very last one, right? This blue level right here, 78.6% retracement from the all-time high, 0.786. What that means is, our all-time high back in February, we have retraced 78% of those gains since then. So we have come back 78% of the gains from the all-time low to the all-time high. And I keep saying all-time. This might not actually be all-time, but very recent, right? Yeah. So it's not quite all-time because we have come down from a much higher level in the past, in the distant past. But in recent time, and since SOS becoming a cryptocurrency company, right? It hasn't always been a cryptocurrency company, but since then, this is kind of a new company now that they're mining cryptocurrency. So it's almost like a new chart. So I would consider this the low of its cryptocurrency era and the high of its cryptocurrency era. And we use those for our Fibonacci retracement tool. And we see that we have retraced all the way down to that 78% level and bounced right off of it. And we bounced off it with a big move to the upside, and we put in a big bottom side wick on the candle, which is a bullish indicator as well. It doesn't happen every time, but usually when you put in a bottom side large wick, that's a short-term bullish indicator, right? Like for here, for example, it was not the case. We had a down day the day after, but usually when you have these downside wicks, you go up the next day. Downside wick, big up day, things like that. This looks like a very volatile stock. It moves a lot intraday, so these wicks might not be as reliable because there are a lot of big wicks. Almost every single candle has a big wick. Okay, so where do I see this going from here? Now that I think that we have reached our floor, and I actually said this in a stream over the weekend that I was looking at SOS for a viewer on my stream. I was saying that I think we could retrace down to this Fibonacci level, that 380 range, and we did intraday retrace down to 380 and even lower. Looks like we got down to maybe the 350s, and we bounced off and we're heading up. So I think that is the floor. So where do we go from here? Well, if that's the floor, then obviously the only way to go is up, right? I mean, that might not be the case. This is probabilities here. I think there is a high probability that the floor is in on SOS, and I see us retracing or heading up now. Rather, not a retracement, but we can continue to head back up from here. And I personally am targeting a gap in this chart to the upside right here. There's a gap in between these two candlesticks that has not been filled yet, right? There's a gap that was right here, and it was partially filled right here, but not quite all the way. So we haven't filled this gap yet right here between $9.30 and $9.72. So for the medium term, short to medium term, I'm targeting $9.30 minimum, $9.72 maximum. But that would be kind of a medium term play, not necessarily long term. It's hard to say where the stock is going to go after it fills that gap, but I am fairly confident that gaps do tend to get filled, at least more recent gaps. A gap from 3 years ago is far less likely to get filled. A gap to the downside anyway is far less likely to get filled than a gap to the upside. So this gap is to the upside, so we have that working for us, and it's pretty recent, right? It's only 2 months old. So I'm fairly confident that this gap is going to get filled, which means we are going to approach $9.30, maybe $9.72 here in the short to medium term. With this stock trading at $4.32 right now, that is more than double your money. We've been tracking. All that said, we've been tracking this stock on this channel for a few months now, and it has not done well. So I do think the floor is in on SOS. I do think that we have a ton of room to run to the upside. That does not mean that there is no risk here. This is a risky stock. We can still lose money here on this stock, right? Just because Fibonacci retracement levels suggest that the floor is in does not mean that you're not going to lose money, right? There is no 100% guaranteed perfect strategy in the stock market. It's all probabilities. So I just want to make that clear that this is still a very risky stock, but I am fairly confident that we are going to head up and approach $9.30 to $9.72 on this stock to the upside, which is more than double your money from these prices here. So I'm targeting that. I'm going to purchase some shares here in this range. I haven't yet. I do have shares from previously that I've lost a lot of money on, but I will be doubling down. I will be dollar cost averaging, purchasing more shares down here and target that 972. I'll probably take profits at 9. If we get to 930, first of all, huge success, because that's more than double our money from here. But second of all, I'm going to be taking profits as we approach that. And if we get to 972, I'll probably take the majority of my profits at that point, because that gap will be filled, and I'll have to reassess the chart from there to see, okay, what was the catalyst for this move? Is there still more room to run on this, etc.? So I will keep reevaluating along the way, but I like this stock chart from here with that floor in, that big move today on that great news of the additional cryptocurrency mining rigs being ordered. So I think it looks good for SOS. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Are you kind of just burnt out on this stock? Are you moving on? Or are you still following this? Do you think there's a lot of money to make here? So let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. I do stock chart analysis, pattern analysis, Fibonacci retracement analysis, and I make stock price predictions based on that analysis on this channel. So come along for the ride. Okay, guys, that's all I got for this video. I will see you in the next one.